Good afternoon. This is a code enforcement hearing for the City of North Miami. Today is what is today?
November 7th.
Today is November 7th. I should know. Yesterday was election day. Today is November 7th, 2012, and I am Beatrice Cazot, Special Magistrate for the City of North Miami. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a city code violation exists at your property as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of this city. If the city is not able to prove its case, then I will dismiss the case and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded. Therefore, all persons who are speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that all testimony is clearly audible on the recording device. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. We have a translator who will assist you during the proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, or any witness that you may have should come forward to the podium on the left side of the room. When asked, please speak directly into the microphone and say aloud your name, your business or mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware of and understand the violation that is being heard today. And do you understand what is required to resolve the violation? Please answer accordingly. The city will present its case first, and then the property owner / violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf, to bring forward witnesses to testify, to present evidence and photographs, and to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement date for the violation to be resolved. Or for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new, non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table this case proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact and/or ruling, then the property owner may appeal the administrative order on the case to the circuit court. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the administrative order to be appealed. In accordance with Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by the special magistrate with respect to any matter considered at these proceedings, then the person will need a verbatim record of the proceeding. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the verbatim record shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant, and it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal their case should provide their own court reporter at these proceedings. Pursuant to city codes, if the City of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. Now, if you are giving testimony today on a case, please rise and raise your right hand as I issue the oath. Well, Alan, you do.
Okay. If you're giving testimony today, please raise your right hand and take the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please say, I do. Thank you. You may be seated.
Alan, are we going to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
It's entirely up to you.
Let's do it as customary. Sure.
If you would, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Your Honor, we do have some amendments to this evening's agenda. I would be glad to go through them at this time.
Absolutely, please.
All right, starting with on the first page of the agenda item number 1, Aldo and Janice Flores, case CEIVY 2012-00203 has complied. Item 2, Ann Joseph, case CEJNK 2012-00131 has complied. Item 3, Antonio Diaz Jr., case CEIVY 2012-00192 has complied. Item 4, Bank United, case CENUS 2012-00042 has complied. Item 5, Bayview Towers Condo, case FYREC 2011-00118 is postponed to February. Item 6, Carolyn Wallace, case CEIVY 2012-00176 has complied. Case 7, Christopher Hutnick and wife Olga, case CEXP 2012-00103 has complied. Item 11, Fernando and Ivan Gazmuri, CELDR 2012-00123 is postponed to February 2013. On the next page, item 12, Francisco and Anels Rodriguez, case CEJNK 2012-00128 has complied. Item 13, Gerald and Nell Opstall, case CEXP 2012-00107 postponed to January. Item 14, Herbert Driggs and others, case CEXP 2012-00109 is complied. Item 15, Jairo Morales, case CENUS 2012-001-039 is complied. Item 18, Jamil Shaout and wife Rose, CEF FAW 2012-00104 has complied. Item 19, Jenny Lee Navarro, CEMIS 2012-00028 has complied. Item 20, Jose Gaznell, CEFAW 2012-00093 has complied. Item 22, Jordaine Lastra, CEMHO 2012-00027 has complied. Item 23, Joyce Megan, CEBLR 2012-00062 has complied. Turning to the next page. Item number 26, Karina and Amadeo Lopez, CENUS 2012-00041 is complied. Item 28, Maisie Skidos, case CEODS 2012-00109 is complied. Item 31, Marie Petit, case CEIVY 2012-00144 is complied. Item 32, Michael and Linda Stahl, case CEODS 2012-00107 is complied. Item 33, MidFirst Bank, CEFAW 00038, postponed to December. Item 34, Polycard Alberg, CEJNK 2012-00130 is complied. Item 35, Rangel Fernandez, CEBNP 2012-00075 has complied. Turning to the next page. Number 38, Spartan Realty Assets LLC, CEBNP 2012-00076 has complied. Item 39, Thor Solbergero Corporation, CMHO 2012-00047, postponed to December. Item 40, Tom Eastwood, CELDR 2012-00022, postponed to February. Item 41, Trevor Daniel and Andreen McIntosh, CEODS 2012-00111 is complied. Item 42, Tyrone and Rochelle Hill, CEXP 2012-00155 is complied. Item 45 and 46, Wendy Golding, CELDR 2012-00052 and CEMHS 2012-00012 have both complied. Item 47, William and Diane DeShazor, CEXP 2012-00133 is complied. Item 49, Yolanda Concepcion, CNUS 2012-00040 has complied. And, Your Honor, that completes the changes to the agenda.
Great. You may call the first case.
Okay, the first case is agenda item number 43 for Walter and Mary Wright, who own the property at 1320 Northeast 138th Street, case CEXP 2012-00118. Officer Wayne Clark will be handling this case for Ms. Christie, who's not here today. Good evening, sir. Please state your name for the record and your relationship to the property owner.
Joel Augustin, that's my mom.
Okay, and you live at the house? Same house?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And you're familiar, you've already talked to your mother and father about this case?
No, I didn't really tell them anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you're familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We're first going to hear from Mr. Clark. Your Honor, this was a new case that was opened back in June 20th, 2012. It was adjudicated last month, and the abatement date is today. So Mr. Clark will give us tell us what's going on.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This is a case in reference to the exterior paint conditions for the roof, the Italian tile roof, and I've to date it's not in compliance. And I talked to the young man right here to my left on yesterday, and he did make an attempt to take care of the issue, but he had some problems with the pressure cleaner. And he did show me evidence showing me the pressure cleaner that it was in disrepair. It had broken on him. And he did make an attempt to rectify the problem, but he got a snag in between that time and now. So to date it's not in compliance, and I'd like to submit the photos for the record.
All right, I am reviewing a photograph that was taken a couple of days ago, November 5th, 2012. And sir, you said this is the home where you live
Yeah.
with your parents.
But my they're not there right now. They're out of the country.
But that's their home.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does this fairly represent the top of the roof as it is today?
Yeah, half of it is clean and half is still because the machine broke on me.
Okay. Mr. Grant. And officer, what are you recommending?
I'll leave that up to the code manager to decide. Thank you.
Mr. Graham?
You want to extend the abatement date, or
Yes, sir.
just table? Okay. Do you want to stay? Okay.
Through you, Magistrate, I just wanted to get a feel for an ideal of how much time you would need to get the rest of the
2 weeks
roof.
and I'll have it done. 2 weeks.
Okay, so we would like to either table the case, Your Honor, or extend the abatement date to December 5th. That would have the same effect. We feel that this will probably be complied before the December 5th hearing calendar.
Okay.
So your choice is to table it or extend the abatement date.
We can table it for 2 weeks. And the next
We'll actually bring it back in December 5th, if should it not be done.
okay.
Okay.
Sir, do you understand?
2 weeks, yeah. And
Okay.
yeah. That's it.
Get it
And
done
if
as...
it's,
Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to tell him the job is done. Please get in contact with the code enforcement officer so that you don't have to appear on December 5th.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah.
You're all done. Thank you. Okay. Sir, do you have...
Was he sworn
are you
in?
here for a hearing tonight? Do you have a case? I know there was a young lady here, it was a minute ago.
I was told to come here.
Okay. Wayne maybe could take a look at his paperwork. Go. Ms. Sanders?
And I don't think he's been sworn in.
No, I'll do that when he comes forward.
Okay.
Ms. Sanders? Okay. Which case is this? Number 30. Okay, this is on Marie Elor Denisti. Okay. Okay. Very good. Sir, all right, come forward. This is agenda item number 30 for Marie Elor Denisti, who owns the property at 1430 Northwest 120th Street, case CEZPU 2012-0009, which is Ms. Sanders' case. Case was opened in June 22nd, 2012. It was adjudicated September 5th, 2012, with the September 18th abatement date. It was heard in October, and the abatement date was extended to today with a note that there would be no further extensions.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Would you state your name for the record?
Robert Lewis, Jean Lewis.
And Jean Lewis?
Yes, sir.
And how are you related to the property?
She rent me the property.
She's renting it to you now?
She rented to me.
Okay.
Before she rented to me, and I've been living in the property now for, I say, a little bit over 4 years.
Okay. Would you raise your right hand? We'll take the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to hear from Ms. Sanders, who's going to tell us about the property that you're renting
Okay.
and its current condition, and then we'll give you a chance to speak.
All right. Sir.
Thank you. Ms. Sanders.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already stated, this is a case for a zone prohibited use. It is a home, it's a non-homesteaded property, and as already stated, we do have 2 tenants that live at the property at this present time. As of today, when I re-inspected the property, compliance has not been met, and both tenants still live in both the front and the back. I will let the tenant in the rear, Mr. Wilbur, explain the full status of compliance and or non-compliance.
Okay. Let me ask you a question through your honor to Mr. Jean Lewis. Sir, how long have you been living there?
I've been living there for, I said, a little bit over 4 years now.
4 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you have a signed lease? Do you have a regular lease, or are you just paying month to month?
Actually, I was paying on the property, and the owner recently passed away.
Okay.
And I have trying to get a contact with the bank, and I spoke. As a matter of fact, I have a lawyer downtown that I recently goes to speak to him in regard to the property, and he stated that there is nothing that I could possibly do at this moment right now, that the property has to go through a hearing and whatnot. And I said, I want to buy the property. I don't want to be evicted or anything like that, because I've been living there for a long time. I know the owner, I know her daughter and everything, and she really not interested in the property. So I really interested in the lady, Miss Liza, that's living with me with the property. She also used to rent from her before she passed away, and she is also interested in the property as well. But the bank just doesn't want to talk to us. They just don't want to talk to us right now until, the property has gone through.
Is it in foreclosure?
I don't know. I went downtown a couple days ago and to speak with the lawyer. The lawyer was not there, but his assistant told me that I got some information, like I was telling the court officer earlier. I was looking for this information. I couldn't find them, so I would have to go back down there. But as far as he's saying, if I could recall that the property
is it going through probate? You're not sure?
Going through probate.
Okay.
And no one really. It would take about maybe a month or two. So he says, just in the meantime, I should be looking for another place. So, if there is a possibility, if I could purchase it, or I don't know how is it possible, or whoever owns it, if I could rent it through them, or I don't know how could it work, how could we work that out, because the elderly woman that's living there, she's ill, and I've been living there for a good little while, and I don't really, I'm not in a position right now to just pack up and leave.
And you are not related to Miss Dynasty, right?
She was a member. I was a member of in her church.
Okay.
And that's how I was a member in her church, and I know her pastor, and that's how I was able to get the property.
Okay, and you and the other tenant that's currently living there, you two are not related?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not. I was there. I got there before she did. She rent me the place because I'm a certified carpenter, and she had problem with the place. She couldn't rent it, so I was able to do some work for her in the property, so she could be able to rent it, and that's how I was able to get the room from her.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, but Your Honor, seeing as how we've already granted an extension, the last comment on this case was that if it came back for noncompliance, that there'd be no further extensions. Seeing that the property owner is not present here this evening, and we have testimony from the code officer as well as the tenant at the rear of the property that it's still substantially in the same condition as it was when we instituted the abatement date and guilty finding, the city is asking for a ratification of the fine.
And what was the fine amount at the
It
time?
was $200 a day. Was it?
25 a day.
25 a day. And we would ask
Okay.
that to come back from the abatement date.
And what was the abatement date at the time?
You extended the abatement date to today.
Today?
The last hearing, so the fine would begin today.
Okay. And
And that's not against you, it's against
the property owner.
And
Okay.
we really sincerely hope that with the ratification of the fine, perhaps we can get whoever's going to be taking over this property to come into ownership and to take care of the issue.
Okay, and we already entered a finding in the case, correct, Mr.?
Correct. This case was adjudicated on September 5th with an abatement date of September 18th. And last month, the case was heard again, and the abatement date was extended to tonight. So we're asking to move forward and impose the fine tonight.
Okay. Having heard all the testimony presented, and the fact that this matter has been extended to today, and no one from the owner's side is present, I will ratify the fine from $25 to $100 per day, starting today.
So this is going to be a fine of $25 a day plus court costs of $100?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir, thank you very much for coming tonight. We appreciate your assistance with this. And there's nothing more for you to do tonight. There's no fine against you. We will we'll send paperwork to the property, which will eventually get to the lawyer.
Okay,
So if something's posted on your door and you have a chance to speak to the lawyer, then just give them the paperwork.
Okay.
Good luck, sir. I hope you can work it out.
What, is there an owner, or I don't know, is there an owner?
Well, the owner of the property is Miss Dennisty, even though she's passed away. If she
Okay.
has a will, then the attorney would then have to appoint a personal representative of the estate of all her assets to be applied to the court to be able to have legal authority then to sell her house and dispose of any other personal property or asset she has,
Okay.
and to contact any other family members, any heirs that she may have,
Okay.
and to decide what to do with her estate.
Okay.
So we again appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, it is now 20 minutes of 7, seeing that there are no other property owners, attorneys, or other people of interest having interest in these cases. We'd like to continue with the cases in an ex parte fashion. We'd like to excuse our interpreter, thank him for being here tonight,
Thank you, sir.
and we'll see you next month. And so what we'll do is we'll start going through the cases. Ed, how many do you have? At the end? Do you know what number it is? Oh, I got it. We're going to start with agenda item number 50, Yves and Gisette Jean-Pierre at 46062 Northeast 132nd Street, KCEBLR 2012-00070, a new case cited by Code Officer Ed Fitzell on October 1st, 2012. Mr. Fitzell.
What number is this?
Item 5050.
Ed Fitzell, City of North Miami Code Enforcement.
you.
This property was originally cited on October 1st in Section 519 for not having the address on the duplex. This property is homesteaded. Property was posted with notice to appear on October 18th. Affidavit of service was filed. Had no contact with the owner. I tried to talk to him and he walked away. This is the picture for evidence that there's no address on the property.
You indicated that the person that you saw is the possible owner and walked away from you.
I've spoken to the owner, and he's also spoken to my sergeant. And he said he's not going to put the address in the house.
How is that possible? Let's show you one more, unless it's off.
640, 142.
And this photograph was taken when?
Yesterday, and I went by the property again this afternoon around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and it was no address still on the property.
Reviewing photograph that was taken yesterday, November 6, 2012.
Briggs, right? Your Honor, this is a new case. So
Okay.
the city is seeking an adjudication.
I find good notice. Having good notice, the owner of the property has failed to appear for these proceedings. Having reviewed the photograph and hearing unrebutted testimony from the code enforcement officer, I find in favor of the city. We have the abatement date of December 5th, correct?
Yes, that would be the next abatement date, and the city would seek that date.
Okay, we will impose a fine of $25 per day with the abatement date of December 5th, 2012, plus costs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'd like to take another one out of order. Agenda item number 4848, Mr. Wilcox's case against Yasmin Kadey, who owns the property at 580 Northwest 135th Street, case CEFAW 2012-00101. This is a new case cited by Mr. Wilcox on September 12th. Mr. Wilcox.
Yes, Officer Wilcox, City of North Miami Code Compliance. The property address is 580 Northwest 135th Street. The property is vacant. Property is homesteaded, and there's no life, health, safety issues at the location. The property was originally cited for to repair the fence on September 12, 2012. Like I said, the property is vacant. I'm going to submit the photos into record.
I am reviewing photographs that were taken on yesterday, 11/6/2012, showing, is this fence completely off?
Yes.
Okay. And is it fairly in the same condition as it was when you first sighted the property back in September?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I find good notice. Again, the property owner has failed to appear, giving good notice, has absented himself or herself from these proceedings. I find in favor of the city, having reviewed the unrebutted evidence of the city code enforcement officer, as well as reviewing the photographs that were presented, issuing a daily fines of $25 with an abatement date of December 5th, 2012. Thank you, officer.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do you have another case?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Sanders, are you ready? Okay, we're going to hear some cases from Ms. Sanders. Okay, we'll start with agenda item number 8. Item 8, which is Countrywide Home Loans, who own the property at 12385 Northwest 17th Avenue, case CEIVY 2012-00173. The case was opened on August 3rd, 2012. It was adjudicated last month, October 3rd, with an abatement date of today. Fine has already been established at $50 a day for failure to comply. Ms. Sanders.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As of today, roughly 2:30, non-compliance has been, compliance has not been met, and the vehicle still remains.
Sanders, when was this property posted with the notice to appear?
I'm showing here that I posted the property on October 19th at 11:35 a.m.
Thank you.
Do you say you have recent photographs?
Yes, I have recent photographs.
Reviewing photographs that were taken today, November 7, 2012. And is this the same vehicle that you cited back in, was that August 3rd, 2012?
Yes, it's the same silver Volkswagen.
And parked in the same location as it was?
Same location, non-movement, tag still remains, grass still overgrown.
Thank you. I find that there were good notice. Once again, the homeowner has failed to appear. Having reviewed the photograph, it is in the same condition as it was back in August and again back in October when we entered a finding in favor of the city. Abatement date was November 7th today, and fine is set at $50 starting today, including cost.
Thank you. The next case will be agenda item number 9 against Damian Sanchez, who owns the property at 1565 Northwest 126th Street. Case is CEJNK 2012-00097. This is a case opened in July 12th. It was adjudicated last month, October 3rd, with abatement date of today. Fine of $25 a day was established at the last hearing. Ms. Sanders.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As of today, roughly 5 o'clock, I'm showing that the violation still remains. I am showing that proper service has been being posted October 20th at 12:25 p.m. Also showing that it is a homesteaded property, but again, no compliance has been met as of today about a little after 5:15, 5:30. I have new photos if you would like to see.
Yes, please. I have been giving an array of photographs dated today, 11/7/2012, showing discarded items, chairs, garbage, crates, blocks, etc. Thank you. And, okay, thank you. Again, I find there were proper notice. Once again, the property owners has failed to appear for these proceedings. This matter was adjudicated back in October 3rd. Fines were assessed at $25 per day, starting today, the abatement date, and plus cost, $100 cost.
Thank you. So next case will be Mr. Kearson's cases, and we'll come back. Do you have one or two more, Ms. Sanders?
Yes, I do. We can go ahead and hear while I'm standing here if you would like, but yes, I do.
Oh, let's get Ms. Sanders done, and we'll get her
Okay.
out of here if nobody objects.
Sorry, Ivy.
No, you only have two more. Agenda item number 2424 on the agenda for Julie Ann Luderman, who owns property at 1270 Northwest under 23rd Street, case CEMHO 2012-00039. The case was opened back May 31st, 2012. It was adjudicated last month with an abatement date of today with a $25 fine for failure to comply. Ms. Sanders.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already stated, this is a case of a minimum housing opening. As of today, about 3 o'clock, the property remains in the same condition. I am showing that I posted the property October 19th at 11 a.m. and I am showing that it is a non-homesteaded property. I have new pictures if you would like to see.
Yes, please. apologize. When did you say you posted the property?
I posted the property, I believe it said October 19th. You have the file, I believe it was October 19th. I think 11:35, but I can't confirm the time until I get the folder back.
Reviewing an array of photographs that were taken on this date, 11/7/2012, showing a broken door. Thank you. Is there a broken window as well?
I'm sorry?
Okay. Here. Once again, I find there was proper notice. The homeowner has failed to appear. This matter was adjudicated back in October 3rd, 2012. Abatement amount was $25 starting today, plus $100 in costs.
Thank you.
Oh, I apologize. I find that the violation still exists.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. All right, agenda item number 29 against Marie C. Jean-Paul for the property owned at 1060 Northwest 128th Street, case CEMHO 2012-00057. This is a new case cited by Ms. Sanders on September 7th. Ms. Sanders.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already stated, this is another case of minimum housing openings. This case was initially opened back on September 7th. It was called in as an anonymous complaint stating that the side door was open. Upon doing an inspection the next day, I did verify that the side door was indeed opened. I posted the property and have sent several notices of violation, but have had no contact. As of today, the door still remains open. Also noting that, I'm sorry, let me check to see if it's homesteaded. It's showing that it is a vacant property. It does show as being non-homesteaded, but you know, again, as of today, the side door is open, and upon taking pictures, I noted that the back door is also now open. I do have pictures if you would like to see.
Yes, please. I have been provided an array of photographs dated this date, 11/7/2012. Okay. All right, the doors that I'm looking at, is it unlocked? Because I can't really tell.
Yeah, I tried to take it at different angles and whatnot, and I couldn't really, get it open. But it was on the side door, and it is slightly ajar, but it is open. It's a bar door and a wood door, and then there's a door in the back, a wood door that's fully wide open. But they are unsecured and opened.
Okay, and you're saying this property is vacant?
Yes, it looks very much vacant.
Normally in situations like this, do you normally secure it temporarily, or what is your recommendation at this time?
Normally what the city does is we post the property with a 10-day nuisance letter, basically telling the property owner they must go ahead and secure it. Otherwise, after 10 days, the city Public Works Department goes out there and temporarily secures the doors and windows. But that does not relieve the property owner of making a definitive effort to secure the property. So the city does go out there and incur some costs and then bills the cost to the property owner.
Okay.
As a temporary measure to prevent vandalism.
All right. I guess where I'm getting to is if this is a matter that can be resolved, by securing the doors, I'm a little reluctant about issuing daily fines if this matter is going to be resolved.
A lot of times these locks on the doors are broken, or the doors are broken on the hinges, so, you know, there's more work that's required than just the city putting a board over the door or the board over the window.
And just to add, Your Honor, under the city's code, the property owner is the person ultimately responsible for maintaining compliance of the property with all City of North Miami codes. Unfortunately, while the city, our Public Works Department will go out there and secure the property to preserve the life, health, safety of the neighboring residents, we are not the property managers for this property. We are not the property owners for this property. That is not our responsibility. That is the onus of the property owner. And unfortunately, the only way that the city can go after the property owner is through enforcement of our code. And that's what we're asking for you today, is to find that this property owner is guilty of violating a City of North Miami code, and for an abatement date which would direct the property owner to come out to this property, secure the property in a permanent fashion in compliance with the city code, or else faced a fine. And that's what we're asking for you tonight.
Okay. Given the abatement date is December 5th, and if I were to say the abatement date is December 5th, therefore the city will not go in and the city will not act until after the abatement date, after we come back in December?
Well, the city only does a temporary securing procedure, whether it's they put up a board or they do something to secure the doors. We do this in order, as I said, to prevent further vandalism. We've had properties where people go in and set fires and completely destroy a home because they have open access. Criminal activity can occur in there, so we do the temporary fix, but
Okay.
it's not a permanent fix.
Okay. So based on the evidence presented, as well as the photographs showing that the property is in same condition as it was back in September 7, 2012, given that there were proper notice, the property owners have failed to appear for these proceedings, I'll find in favor of the city. I will issue a fine of $25 per day as of the abatement date of December 5th, 2012,
Thank you.
plus costs.
Thank you. Ms. Sanders, thank you very much for your appearance
I
tonight.
have one more case.
You do?
Yep.
I missed it. Which one is that?
It is the last page, page 51.
51. I sure did miss it. I apologize. Or we'll take that now. Agenda item number 5151 against Yvette and Ernest Lebrissier, who own the property at 1635 Northwest 122nd Street, case CEODS 2012-00063. Ms. Sanders.
Shannon Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already stated, this is a case of of outdoor storage outside the property. As of today, roughly 12 o'clock, the items still remain. I am honest enough to state I went back on 2 different occasions and was unable to take updated pictures. They had a large dog that was located in the front of the property. They do have a gate, but the gate was not properly secured, and I was not about to get out of my car because the dog kept charging to the gate. I guess my testimony is giving that the items still remain from what I saw in the car, but I was unable to take updated pictures. But the pictures from the last meeting still depicts what the property looks like today.
And Ms.
And
Sanders.
Go ahead.
When did you post the property with the notice?
I posted the property on October 19th at 2:30 p.m.
Thank you.
And this property is occupied? You said there was a door, a dog?
Yes, I did. Actually, on at the date of posting the property, I spoke with a gentleman whom identified himself as the cousin of the property owner or the woman who was staying there. I don't know if he said she was the owner or the tenant, but he did identify himself. He said just post it on the door. he would relay the message. He had nothing to do with that. So there is someone living there that I made contact with, but he didn't really get himself involved, and I wasn't trying to get him involved.
Based on the officer's unrebutted evidence that has been presented, I find there were proper notice that, once again, the property owners have failed to appear and have absented themselves from these proceedings. I find that the violation still exists as of today. This matter was adjudicated in October 2012 with an abatement amount of $25 per day, starting today, plus $100 cost.
Thank you. I think that's it now, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, we'll backtrack a little. Mr. Kearson's cases. We'll start with agenda item number 16. 16 and 17 are both against the same property owner, James Littlejohn and others, for the property at 1977 Northeast 119 Road. The first case is CEBDC 2012-00002, a new case cited on September 10th, 2012. Mr. Kearson.
Good evening. Ivy Kearson, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer of the North Miami Police Department. Property address is 1977 Northeast 119th Road. Property owner is James Littlejohn, Leroy Williams, and others. This property is a new case. This property was cited for a derelict boat. Originally, the boat was sunken, and I initially noticed the violation on September 10th, and I sent out a violation letter that same day. I then noticed that no action had been taken. Then a civil violation ticket was issued on the 17th in the amount of $150. On the 27th of September, the boat was refloated, but it was still in a derelict condition, and it needed to be removed. I was out there on yesterday, and boat remains in the same condition, and I'd like to submit the pictures in the file for the record. And the notice was posted on the property on, one second, I'm sorry. Notice was posted on the property on October 24th. Well, I'm sorry, October 23rd at 12:34 p.m. You see that there are two sets of pictures. One is reflecting yesterday's date, and then the date when the ticket was issued. I believe that was on the 17th, I think it was, of September, showing when the vessel was actually sunk.
Correct. I'm reviewing an array of photographs that has been presented, dating on this date, 11/6/2012, of a sunken vessel. Thank you. And you've never made contact with the owner, correct?
I did speak with the owner briefly a couple of times. Well, I take that back. I've spoken to him a couple of times. That's when he did have the boat refloated, but I told him because of the fact that the boat is still in such a deteriorated condition that it needed to be moved. It needed to be removed from the canal, and he chose not to do so.
Okay. Thank you, officer. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the officer as well as the evidence presented, I find in favor of the city. I find that the violations still exist. I will issue a daily fine of $25 plus cost with an abatement date of December 5th, 2012. Officer?
I being the nature of the violation, and I think $25 is a wee bit low. I think maybe we should increase it a bit, a little more, because of the fact that this is such an eyesore, and this isn't the first boat that he's had at this property. So,
Through your magistrate, if I can get the code officer to proffer the history
Right.
of this particular
Yes, because
property.
okay.
Correct.
All right.
I don't have that. I don't know the history that you have
Okay.
with this owner.
This property owner has basically this home is it is vacant. It is non-homesteaded. This property owner, he is he has been a nuisance, for the residents in the area for quite some time. He's had another boat that sunk, that the city had to actually have refloated. We actually had to pay to have the boat resubmerged and towed out, and we had to seek payment from the bank because this property was going through a foreclosure. For some reason, I guess he stopped the foreclosure proceedings. He still, owns the property. Not only does, I have another case for this property for an unmounted jet ski on a property. He has a running fine for an unmaintained swimming pool. I just issued him another ticket the other day for the pool, the swimming pool, because it's black. I mean, he has running fines for the roof, paint. So this property owner needs to be sent a message.
And Your Honor, due to the high risk of this particular property owner of not complying, and the high risk that the city may eventually have to go out there, pull the permits, all the DERM permits, and incur the cost of actually having to tow another boat, a second boat, out of this property, we would ask that any daily fine amount go towards the higher standard of $250 a day, so that we could at least recoup our costs that way.
Let me just ask, in addition to it being an eyesore and the owner having a history of nuisance to the neighbors, does it possess any, I'm sorry? Yes, health issues or
Life safety.
No, there isn't any. There at one point it seemed like when a vessel initially sank, there was some gasoline. That seemed like there was a slick of gasoline, but that's not an issue now. It's just a matter of just trying to get that vessel out of there.
Okay.
But it doesn't. It is tied down. It doesn't pose any issues as far as breaking out and becoming a navigational hazard. But it's just an eyesore.
Okay. All right. Having heard the additional testimony from the officer regarding this homeowner and the history with the city, I will amend my recommendation and from $25 to $100 per day.
The next case is agenda item 17, same property owner James Littlejohn and others at 1977 Northeast 119 Road, case CERUB 2012-00001. Code Officer Kirsten.
Ivy Kirsten, Code Compliance Officer of the City of North Miami Police Department. Address is 1977 Northeast 119 Road. Property owner is Leroy Williams, James Littlejohn, and others. This property is vacant. It's not homesteaded. There aren't any current life safety issues. This property this violation was initially noted on September 10th for an unmounted boat, unmounted jet ski. The violation letter was sent out on the 10th of September. No compliance was met. A civil violation ticket number 2182 was issued on the 17th of September. The violation still exists. Spoke to the owner. He has no intentions on removing the jet ski. I'd like to submit the pictures for the record.
Please. I am reviewing photographs that have been presented by the code enforcement officer dated today, 11/6/2012, and it does show the unmounted jet ski. Thank you. Oh. Having heard the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and having reviewed the photographs that have been presented, I find there good proper notice. I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city and issue a daily fine of $100 with an abatement date of December 5th, 2012.
Thank you.
That's it.
Next case will be Mr. Clark. $100 should they fail to comply. $100 per day should they fail to comply.
$100 per day.
Yes. Right.
Oh, $100 per day.
I know what you mean. All right. Next is Mr. Clark's case, agenda item 21. Against, you want to finish up, Ivy? Because you all had the same amount. All right. All right, we'll finish up with Mr. Kirsten then. You got one more, I think, right? Two more? Hold on. Yes, you do. Wellington Burroughs, okay. All right, we go to agenda item number 25, Karina Lopez at 2210 Northeast 121st Street, case CEMHO 2012-00051. This is a case that was opened in July 9th. It was adjudicated on October 3rd with the abatement date of today for life. There is a life safety violation regarding a collapsing overhang. Mr. Kirsten.
Ivy Kirsten, Code Compliance Officer, City of North Miami Police Department. Address is 2210 Northeast 121st Street. Owner is Karina A. Lopez. This case has already been adjudicated. It's a vacant property. It's non-homesteaded. There is a life safety issue. Was out to the property today, still no compliance. I took pictures out there yesterday as well. Took pictures of the property yesterday. I'd like to submit the pictures in the file for the record.
Please. I am reviewing copy of a photograph that was taken on this date, 11/6/2012. I remember this case,
Yep.
okay, with the hanging rooftop. Again, based on the unrebutted testimony of the officer, and having reviewed the photograph that was taken on this date showing that the property is in the same condition as it was back in October when this matter was adjudicated, it was an issue for this special magistrate that it could possibly present a life safety issue.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I'd like to state that the notice to appear was posted on the 23rd of October at 11:57 a.m.
Thank
Sorry.
you. I find that notice is proper. I find that the property owner has once again failed to appear and therefore absented himself or herself from these proceedings. The abatement amount of $100 that was assessed is starting today, correct? Okay, plus cost, $100 cost.
Thank you. The next case is agenda item 44. Agenda 44 from Mr. Kirsten against Wellington Burrows, who owns the property at 1835 Alamanda Drive, case CEMIS 2012-00025. Mr. Kirsten opened this case on September 1st. It was adjudicated last month, and the abatement date is today. A fine amount has already been established. Mr. Kirsten.
Ivy Kirsten, Co-Compliance Officer of the City of North Miami Police Department. Address is 1835 Alamanda Drive. Property owner is Wellington A. Burrows. This is a vacant property. It's not homesteaded. This property's already been adjudicated. I was out to the property today and noticed that there was a significant difference in its appearance. Speaking with some of the neighbors, one of the neighbors on yesterday, he said that the property owner was out there cleaning up the property, and I'd like to submit the pictures for the record, and you'll see the difference.
Okay.
However, he has cleaned up, as you'll see, he has cleaned the property up a lot, but there's still a health issue with the pool, because I was unable to take any pictures of the pool, but I'm assuming that the pool has not been drained from what I can see from the property. I would like to monitor it maybe for another day, a month, just to see if he continues to clean up anymore, and if not, proceed, because like I said, you can see that he has done a lot of work.
I'm sorry, for the record, I'm reviewing the copy of an array of photographs that were presented dating 11/7/2012. There is a difference between today's photographs than the ones that were taken back in October, or on October 1st, 2012. So are you asking that we extend the, what are you?
The city would prefer that you would table it
Okay.
and give the property owner an additional 30 days. This way
Yeah.
we preserve our abatement date
Right.
in case
Right.
we have to institute the fine.
Okay, so we will table this matter for a future date.
Thanks, Ivy. Okay. Wayne's cases. We're going to backtrack to agenda item number 21. Item 21 for Joseph Poliska, who owns the property at 1450 Northeast 137th Street, case CIVY 2012-00190. The case is a new case cited on September 10th, 2012. Mr. Clark.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance, North Miami Police Department. The address is 1450 Northeast 137th Street. As the code manager said, Joseph Poliska is the owner. And it is currently occupied, and the property is not homesteaded, and there are no life safety issues on the property as well. And I began the initial inspection on September 10th, 2012, where I noted a vehicle that displayed a flat tire under Code Section 1019, which is an inoperable vehicle. The notice was mailed out on September 11th, 2012, and the action taken, I spoke with the owner thereafter. I met him at the property, and I explained to him what needed to be done. He assured me that it would be done before the hearing. I was out there today, approximately between 1 and 2 o'clock, to do a final inspection. The truck is still in the same condition that it was. And I'd like to submit the photo for the record.
Please.
And there is proper notice on the property.
And when was the property noticed?
That would be September 10th when I first noticed the violation.
Okay. And when was it posted with the notice to appear?
October 17th, 2012.
Thank you.
And that is a current photo as of, I believe, 11/5, which was Monday, 2012.
Reviewing photograph that was taken on November 5th, 2012, showing a red pickup, is that?
Yes.
Okay, with
front
flat
driveway.
tires. Flat front tires. Okay, here. The unrebutted testimony given by the code enforcement officer, as well as the evidence presented, I find the notice is proper and that the homeowner has failed to appear for this proceeding. I find the violation does exist, and find it favor of the city. Issue a fine of $25 per day with the abatement date of December 5th, 2012.
Thank you. The next case is agenda item number 36 against Ray E. Miller, who owns the property at 1450 Northeast 141 Street, case CEEXP 2012-00083. Case was cited by Mr. Clark on May 4, 2012. Case was adjudicated on September 5, 2012, with an abatement date of September 18th. Prior to the hearing on October 3rd, the case was postponed to today's hearing calendar. A fine amount has already been established on this case for failure to comply. Mr. Clark.
Mr. Graham, can you give me the number again, please?
Agenda item 3636.
Got it.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance, North Miami Police Department. This property, as a code manager stated, was cited, and to date, the property depicts the same condition of what was asked of him to paint. Current photos of Monday, November 5th, 2012 were taken and has been entered into the case file. The notice to appear was posted on October 17th, 2012, and to date, there has been no compliance, and the owner is fully aware of what he had needed to do to abate the violation, but has yet done so, and I'd like to submit the photos for the record.
Yes, please. reviewing photographs that were taken on November 5th, 2012. And it appears that it's in the same condition as it was on November 5th, 2012, based on the photographs. Is that correct, officer?
Yes,
Okay,
it is, Your Honor.
thank you. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the officer, as well as the evidence presented, I find that the violations still exist. I find that the property owner had ample opportunity to remedy the problem. This matter was adjudicated in September 5th, 2012, with the abatement amount of $25. Starting September 18th, 2012, plus $100 cost assessment. And it will remain so it will start as of September 18th, correct? Mr. Graham?
You can go back to September 19th, the day after the abatement date, or from that date, any day forward to today.
Okay,
Whatever your choice is.
all right. So we'll go back to as of the abatement date of September 18, 2012.
All right, thank you. Last case for Mr. Clark is agenda item 37, Sergio H. Payeres for 1480 Northeast 131 Street, KC FAW 2012-00096. This is a new case cited by Mr. Clark on August 30th, 2012. Mr. Clark.
Wayne Clark City, North Miami Code Compliance with North Miami Police Department. This is a case in reference to the fence conditions under Code Section 295-901J. Fences, wall, hedges required to maintain in good repair and appearance. This is an iron gate that is has a lot of rust on the surface that needed to be repainted over. The property was posted on October 17, 2012. I do apologize, it's not in your history report there, but I do have the affidavit of service stating so. Have not yet had any calls from the owner of the property in reference to the violation. The photos were taken on yesterday, November 6, 2012, depicting the condition, which I'd like to submit for the record.
Yes, please. And this property is not vacant, did you say that?
No, actually, this is a commercial property,
Okay,
but this defense shows heavy rust in a large amount all the way down the fence line. And the property is not homesteaded.
I am reviewing a photograph that has been presented showing the gate and the rust. The photograph is dated 11/6/2012. Also reviewing okay, they're all dated 11/6/2012. All right, thank you. You said this is a commercial property and you have not made contact with anyone from the property?
That's correct. The notice to appear was hung on the drive-through entrance gate.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the officer, as well as the evidence presented, I find that notice was proper. Given proper notice, the property owner has failed to appear for this proceeding. I find the violation does exist and find in favor of the city and assess the fine of $100 per day with an abatement date of December 5th, 2012.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Okay, y'all have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the last case is agenda item number 10. Agenda item number 10 against Eli R. and Gene P. Fisher, who own a commercial property at 140-230 West Dixie Highway, called a Cleaner World Dry Cleaners. Case CEZCU 2012-00149. I cited this case back in April 10, 2012. It was adjudicated last month with an abatement date of today. The notice for the hearing, tonight's hearing, was posted at the property on October 18th at 11:45 a.m. The fine has previously been set at $100 a day for noncompliance. This is a failure to obtain a certificate of use. I inquired from the zoning department what the status is on the certificate of use for this property, and they indicated in something that was sent back to me this week that the property did not pass its inspection required to obtain the certificate of use. On that basis, I'm asking that the city, that the court go ahead and impose the fine that was previously imposed at the last month's hearing of $100 a day for failure to comply.
Let me ask you this. Based on the information that you were given, does that mean there was an attempt made by the property owner, or does it mean that they never even attempted to try to obtain the certificate?
No, they had applied for the certificate of use. Once they apply for a certificate of use, the city does a study and a review of the property history, see if there are any code violations, if there are outstanding or unpaid fines or liens or any indebtedness towards the city. After they review and see that the use of for the dry cleaner on West Dixie highways are permitted use in that zoning district, then they schedule an inspection for a code enforcement officer to go to the property to inspect the property to see that it is in compliance with the application. The zoning administrator, Joanne Martin, indicated in her notes to me that this property did not pass its inspection. So therefore, a certificate of use cannot be issued. I'd like to introduce this into evidence so you can see, and that's going to be entry for for Eli and Gene Fisher. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Graham, are they currently operating their business without a certificate of use?
Yes, they are currently operating a business without a certificate of use.
All right. What does the city attorney recommend?
Seeing as how the city code requires that a certificate of use be obtained prior to engaging in business operations at a property, that the city would come out and actually approve the use of the property before engaging in business, the city would recommend a ratification of the fine since they failed to do that.
In addition, the city also within the code allows for the magistrate to issue an order for the business to be closed until such time as they do obtain a certificate of use. That's more of a tool for us to get them to do what they have to do to come into compliance. And we would ask for that order.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that the city will do it. It says the city may shut the business down at its sole pleasure in the future.
Okay.
Even though to do so would require additional action in the 11th Judicial Circuit. But it really motivates people when they get an order to close their business.
All right. Having heard the unrebutted testimony of the city manager, I'm sorry,
Code manager.
code manager,
Thank you for
Mr.
the
Graham.
promotion.
I just promoted you. Code manager, Mr. Alan Graham. And giving the history of this case, the initial inspection was back in April. And it's really interesting with all the notices that has been given to this business owner that they would not take the proper action to make sure that they receive the proper certificate in order for them to continue with their business. And given that, again, they have failed to appear for this hearing, I find that based on the testimony presented, that the violation still exists. The city attorney had requested that we ratify the fine amount of $100, and I agree with her. So I would say the abatement amount should be $250 per day, starting today, and also issuing an order that the business be closed until such time that they have complied with with obtaining a certificate of use.
Point of reference, point of order, the fine amount that was established back on October 3rd was set at a max not to exceed $100 per day, so therefore we can increase it. We would ask that the magistrate leave it at $100 per day. That would send the message and impose the fine starting today.
Okay. So it will remain at $100 per day?
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your Honor, that, to the best of my knowledge, completes our agenda for tonight. I don't have any old business or new business to bring before the magistrate. Does the city attorney have anything to bring forward?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you. We
therefore-
adjourn.
Thank you so much.